Mark your calendars. Only 13 days left until registration opens for Affordable Care Act plans. Good evening. I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Reek. Thanks for joining us. On November 1st, the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, will offer a new plan. Supporters say it will address a wider variety of patient needs.
KOMU8's Lauren Donovan visited a local clinic today in Columbia to see what this plan could mean for those fighting disease and injury.
I visited RAIN, Regional AIDS Interfaith Network, today. It's a Columbia-based nonprofit that services 37 counties, focusing its work on HIV care, testing, and outreach. The executive director told me what this new simple choice option could mean for his patients. Come November, you'll be having more than just the choice of who to elect. And both of the major party candidates are already talking about it.
I think that President Obama should apologize for Obamacare.
I want us to defend and build on the Affordable Care Act and improve it.
The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, will introduce a new plan. The Simple Care Plan, its creators say, is aimed at lessening the burden on particularly expensive medical procedures, as well as making shopping for a plan easier. The current plan options under the Affordable Care Act are a lot like this container of fruit. You came in for the watermelon, but you're also having to buy the grapes and the cantaloupe to get what you want. Supposedly, though, with the new Simple Choice, you can just get the watermelon you wanted in the first place.
The more choices and the more availability within the marketplace, the more people are going to participate.
At the RAIN Clinic in Columbia, which focuses on HIV care, Executive Director Cale Mitchell says costs for his patients need to go down.
Those medication costs are huge. On average, about $1,800 a month if you're paying that out of pocket.
And he's hoping the new plan can help with that as he sees holes in the current system.
Because it's an expensive system to buy into if you don't have employer-based insurance.
So will this new plan shed light on an already flawed system, or is it a potential solution for your healthcare needs? And as far as how Americans feel towards Obamacare, 64% of Republicans polled by the Pew Research Group said that a candidate stance on the Affordable Care Act was very important to them as compared to 52% of Democrats. 61% of those Democrats polled are in favor of the act, while the Republicans stand in stark opposition at 12%.
With exactly 3 weeks until Election Day, money has been pouring into Missouri campaigns. According to the Missouri Ethics Commission, Eric Greitens' campaign raised $4.1 million this quarter, about $700,000 more than Chris Koster's campaign. However, Koster outspent Greitens $6.1 million to $4.9 million. In mid-Missouri's state Senate race, Citizens for Stephen Weber raised $96,000 more and outspent Caleb Rowden's committee by $200,000. A political science professor says state races funnel down to the smaller races.
You know, somebody who works in one of those campaigns, and he's just pulling his hair out because these high-profile races are just taking all the oxygen out of fundraising in the state.
Earlier today, the Koster for Missouri Committee received $175,000 from a union. Yesterday, the committee supporting Greitens got a $2.5 million donation from the Republican Governors Association. Columbia residents say they felt misinformed about tonight's task force infrastructure meeting. KOMU8's Christina Salonikis is here in the studio with the details. Christina, what happened?
Jim, multiple people came to the meeting tonight thinking they could voice their concerns over utility bills, but they found out that wasn't the case.
I spent an hour and 15 minutes one day waiting for somebody to answer the phone.
For Jeanette Keeler, she is sick and tired of not getting an answer when it comes to her utility bill. KOMU8 News previously reported on the City of Columbia billing residents on different cycles, causing some people to stress about how much they owe.
The city is having errors with their utility bills, and it's requiring me to come down here every month.
The meeting was originally aimed to let people voice their concerns on sewer and stormwater systems, as well as downtown electronic systems and major street plans. One member on the task force said the city wants to focus on specific aspects when it comes to sewer and stormwater systems.
What are we hearing from people about how well their sewer and stormwater services are working? And what can the city do to be most efficient and also in full compliance with environmental regulations?
But that quickly turned into a venting session for some people upset about their utility bills.
Can't get anybody to answer the phone, and I can't get anybody to talk to me about what's going on to resolve this issue, but I'm becoming angry, and so I wanted to come to this meeting to voice my opinions about the billing issues, and I just don't feel like I'm being heard.
I called Tracy, the chairman of the task force, after the meeting ended, and she explained the task force has nothing to do with utility bills, and it was a coincidence where people were there on that matter. On the city's website, it said in a press release that the utility bills were not to be discussed at the meeting and are being handled on a separate matter.
Boone County is looking into a new mental health initiative for the county's youngest residents. The Boone County Children's Services Board might spend $4 million over 2 years for a program promoting social and emotional health. It will target kids from birth through kindergarten. The county's community services director says getting to kids early is a key.
We just want to focus more of our efforts around prevention and focus on early childhood, preventing any crisis situations from happening, or preventing children from ever falling behind in school or with development.
The funding will come from the Children's Service Fund, which brings in a 1/4-cent sales tax voters passed in 2012. The proposal is expected to be approved early next year.
1 in 8 women will have breast cancer in their lifetime. One medical group is being proactive instead of reactive. KOMU8's James Bender's in the newsroom with the story.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and medical groups across the nation are acknowledging the issue. Tonight, SSM Health Cancer Center of Jefferson City Medical Group hosted a seminar called Cancer Conversations. The free seminar informed women of the latest advances in breast cancer treatment, as well as different risk factors, screening recommendations, and surgical treatment.
So the sooner you actually go and start asking questions, getting tests, and finding out what exactly is wrong, the sooner you'll feel better and better control you'll have of your body.
To learn more about breast cancer and how to get tested, we have a link on our website at KOMU.com.
Tired of the warmer weather? Want some cooler weather? Let's send it over to Alex for a check of the forecast.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Hot today, cooler tomorrow. I think we're going to be expecting much cooler temperatures in the next 24 hours. Right now, taking a look at current temperatures, 66 in Columbia, 70 in Herman, and 68 degrees down at the Lake of the Ozarks. Cooler temps up in Nebraska and Iowa heading our way tomorrow afternoon. I'll be talking about that, as well as warm day today. Highs approached 80 degrees, but tomorrow we take a tumble, and chances of afternoon showers are in play, especially south of I-70. And afterwards, after all the showers are gone, we'll talk about the big cool down, temperatures falling back into the 60s by this Friday. I'll talk about all that and more coming up after the break.
Alex, thank you very much. Mike Pence calls it political terrorism. It happened this past weekend in North Carolina.
Plus, Hillary Clinton's emails still are not out of the political spotlight. What new allegations could haunt her? That's after weather, too.
Welcome back, everyone, to KOMU 8 News at 9 o'clock on the CW. And let's jump right into the time lapse now, shall we? We started off the morning pretty calm. Some scattered clouds throughout the morning. You can see as the sun came up, they started to thin out quite a bit, some much more clear skies. Temperatures at Rocheport actually got to around 80 degrees by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we can even see some glimpses of a nice, beautiful sunset. Clear skies tonight still out there, even at Rocheport. And for a lot of the communities here in mid-Missouri, we got pretty close to a record high. Here in Columbia, 83 degrees. The record set at 86 all the way back in 1953. So close, yet so very far. We won't be seeing anything like that for the next several days. Taking a look at satellite and radar right now, nothing showing on satellite and radar, not even any clouds at all. We have to zoom all the way out and up to the north and the east. We can see a spinning low way up in Canada and the line of showers and storms that are starting to develop right along a cold front that is actually going to be sweeping through mid-Missouri here in the next couple of hours. Taking a look at precipcast for you, starting off at about 11 a.m., stopping, you can see showers and storms impacting the southern half of the viewing area, more towards Osage Beach in the Lake of the Ozarks. These showers and storms will, isolated showers throughout the afternoon, continuing for areas south of I-70 throughout Wednesday. Areas north of I-70, including Columbia, could be seeing mostly cloudy skies for a lot of Wednesday. Even towards Macon, we could see even some more clearing, more partly cloudy skies than mostly cloudy skies for you tomorrow afternoon. However, by Wednesday evening, those showers move out and even more showers and storms continue to move west to east, well south of the viewing area. They could potentially impact Osage Beach Wednesday night, but again, these are very brief showers. No thunder or lightning associated with any of these storms or showers for tomorrow, even into tomorrow night. By Thursday afternoon, you can see mostly clear for a lot of us, and we're going to be dealing with the cool down more than the rain for Thursday. However, for tonight, we're going to be staying cool, increasing clouds, low of 55 degrees, and those isolated showers could be starting south of I-70 by sunrise at the earliest. By the afternoon tomorrow, mainly overcast for a lot of us. Showers continuing south of I-70, high of 68 degrees for tomorrow. Over the next several days, we'll clear out and stay cool. Any showers remaining from Wednesday night will end Thursday morning. Highs getting into the lower 60s for Thursday and Friday. For homecoming, Saturday, looking very, very wonderful, very beautiful fall day, 70 degrees Saturday, warming up slightly. Tuesday next week, looking at 76 degrees. We're going to be very mild, very fall-like here in mid-Missouri for the next several days to come once we get through these isolated showers, maybe even a potential storm in some of those heavier showers Wednesday and Thursday.
Friday and Saturday, a far cry from yesterday's high temperature.
Yeah, seriously, talk about a major drop in temperatures.
I know, a fantastic roller coaster. That's fall here in mid-Missouri for sure.
All right, Alex, thanks. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton go head-to-head tomorrow night in Vegas in the final presidential debate.
See what new allegations have each of the candidates fired up.
We're 24 hours away from the final presidential debate, which begs the question, is the election getting more complicated?
Opponents say the Clinton campaign tried to manipulate the FBI probe of her emails, and Donald Trump says voting on November 8th will be rigged. Steve Handelsman's in Las Vegas with the latest.
Mr. Donald J. Donald Trump campaigning today in Colorado, a red state where he's lost his lead in the polls, again implied the presidency could be stolen.
But they even want to try and rig the election at the polling booths where so many cities are corrupt.
Trump running mate Mike Pence went to the Republican office firebombed in North Carolina and called for Trump's supporters to observe at the polls November 8th to ensure fairness.
The American people can ensure the integrity of this election, and I'm confident we'll do that.
President Obama appearing in Washington with the Italian Prime Minister slammed Trump for suggesting the election could be rigged.
I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining and go try to make his case to get votes.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton's problems worsened with the allegation the State Department worked with the FBI. If FBI did not declare a Clinton email secret, State would allow FBI agents into Iraq. State denies any deal.
Those conversations were happening at the same time, but they were not linked.
USA Today reports major donors to Clinton's campaign were lobbyists from Microsoft, ExxonMobil, and other corporate giants who pressed the State Department to help their corporate clients. At tomorrow night's debate in Las Vegas, election rigging, emails and the FBI probe, and Trump's alleged sexual assaults are sure to be topics.
Here's what's happening right now. President Barack Obama and the First Lady Michelle Obama are hosting their final state dinner. Guests began arriving at 6 p.m. More than 400 people are in attendance. The meal includes a 4-course feast served in a tent on the south lawn of the White House. This will be the president's 14th state dinner.
Mike Pence continued to discuss what he calls, quote, an act of political terrorism in the crucial battleground state of North Carolina today. Pence looked at the destruction of a GOP headquarters that was firebombed over the weekend. He accused the media of inadequate coverage, saying if it were on the Democratic side, it would have gotten more national attention.
I mean, I'm here to call attention to an act of political terrorism on the Orange County Republican headquarters in North Carolina. This has gotten very little national media attention. And I can't help but feel that had this been the other way around, had it been an attack in this county on the other political party's county headquarters, that the level of national media coverage and the discussion would be significantly different.
The bombing happened early Sunday morning. It's under investigation so far. No arrests have been made. Tim Kaine is also on the campaign trail. He delivered an economic speech in Detroit today. It was focused on poverty, racism, and ways to combat those issues. Tomorrow, Kaine will be in Ohio and North Carolina.
Former Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders' older brother Larry did some campaigning of his own today for a bid at the seat in the British Parliament. Sanders is running as a Green Party candidate to fill the seat recently vacated by former Prime Minister David Cameron. Larry Sanders was born in Brooklyn but has lived in Britain since 1969. Larry says he will also reluctantly vote for Clinton to keep out her Republican rival Donald Trump.
On November the 8th, well, so far the polls look like Trump has shot himself, and I'm pleased with that.
Larry Sanders says his campaign process is very different from what his brother experienced, but the issues he feels are not so different.
The Missouri women's basketball team takes another hit.
Which injury could further hurt the team's chances of building on last year's success? That's next in sports.
From the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
First, it was Jordan Frericks tearing her ACL a couple of weeks ago. Today, we learned junior forward Bree Porter has a torn ACL as well and will also miss the upcoming season. Coach Pinchton said this could be a career-ending injury for Porter because it is the 5th time she has torn her ACL, second time in her left knee. Porter appeared in all but 2 of the Tigers' games last season and averaged just over 2 points and rebounds per game. With both Porter and Frericks out for the upcoming year, Missouri is left with just 3 forwards on the roster. Tigers open the season with an exhibition game against Central Missouri November 1st. Today, the SEC media pegged the Tigers to finish 8th in its annual preseason poll. Tigers posted their best record in the conference last year since jumping from the Big 12 in 2012, finishing 7th with an SEC record of 7-9. South Carolina was picked to win its 3rd straight SEC crown. The Missouri football team returns home from the Swamp. Still, no SEC wins on the season. Tigers hunt for their first conference win. Won't come to an end this week. They host non-conference foe Middle Tennessee State on homecoming weekend. The final non-conference game of the year. It's a chance for Tiger quarterback Drew Lock to get back on track this season. In the last 2 games, Lock has completed just 46% of his passes for 206 yards, and he's thrown 3 interceptions in that time. Now, Coach Odom says mistakes made on offense must be corrected for the Tigers to have success this week.
Well, I think on the interceptions, and I've said it a number of times, you've got to have 10 guys around the quarterback playing really well for the quarterback to have a chance. Overall, schematically in our passing game the other night, Florida did a great job on taking away what we thought we could have some advantages in, and we've got to find a way to get our guys open. And then once we get in position and the ball's delivered, in a passing offense, you got to be able to play catch, and we didn't do that very well the other night.
It is the final week of Friday Night Fever here on KOMU and the first week of the Misha District Tournament play. This week, our Game of the Week features Father Tolton traveling to North Callaway in the first round of the Class 2 District 5 playoffs. North Callaway, they finished 7-2, their best finish since 2012. They also ended the year on a 5-game winning streak. On the other side, Coach Chad Masters and the Trailblazers stumbled to a 4-5 record, their first losing season since 2013. We'll be live in Kingdom City this Friday at 5 and 6. And that's all for sports.